After receiving access to Lift Profile Manager, it's time to configure Lift to work on your website. This guide assumes you are using the Acquia Lift Drupal module. Let's start by configuring Lift on your website. Go to Admin, Configuration, Web Services, Acquia Lift. And let's fill out the credentials provided to you in your Lift Profile Manager account. Open the data collection settings after that's complete. And you can optionally select an existing taxonomy from your site to use for content section, keywords, or persona. For more in-depth information on how Lift collects this sort of data for taxonomies, please see docs.acquia.com. Now let's select Trusted for the content replacement mode. If you leave this as untrusted, Lift will load all of your content in an iframe, sandboxing it away from your site, and that could lead to unexpected results in styling your content. Save the form. Next, let's view what Lift is actually adding to your website. Let's go to the home page and view the page source. Search for Acquia Lift. You'll see a series of meta tags added to your website. These are automatically added via the Acquia Lift module. Acquia Lift works based on the details provided in these meta tags. On page load, Lift looks at these tags and sends data to the Lift service in its capture request. For an in-depth look at the data collection happening in Lift, please see the appropriate tutorial or docs.acquia.com. Now let's also look at what Lift is doing on page load. Open an incognito window. Open the Browser Inspector and Network tab and reload the home page of your website. Filter by the word Lift. Notice that Lift is making a series of network requests in the page load lifecycle. Most notably, open the decide-js script and look at the window.acquialift.liftWebIdentity and window.acquialift.currentSegments values. The web identity will show you the tracking ID associated with your user account, while the current segments will show you any segments that your user is currently a part of on the website. You can use the web identity value to search for your user activity in Lift Profile Manager under the People tab. You'll also notice that these are actually just JavaScript variables that you could use later on. If you open your browser console and type in window.acquialift.liftWebIdentity, you'll see the same values there as we saw in the Network tab. It's important to realize that all of the Lift settings from the module are stored in Drupal configuration. Go to your favorite shell on your computer, such as Terminal in macOS, and run drush cget acquia_lift.settings. And when you run it against this environment, you'll see the configuration values saved for Acquia Lift. The majority of these values can be moved from environment to environment, with one exception, the site ID. Let's note the following about the site ID. The site ID value must be unique per site that you'd like to run personalization on. We generally recommend one site ID per production website that you have. The site ID needs to be created in Lift Profile Manager prior to it being used on your site. If the site ID hasn't been created in Profile Manager, your site will not work properly with Lift. If you are using the Domain Access module or a similar module where multiple sites share the same config, the Acquia Lift values can be set via alter hooks directly in the meta tags that we saw earlier. Finally, it's very important that you don't overwrite your non-production site IDs with production site IDs. That would cause Lift to collect data against dev or test as if it were production. You can keep that straight by adding the site ID value in code to settings.php, or a factory hook if you're using Acquia Cloud Site Factory. In order for personalization to work properly, the site ID must be set appropriately per environment, or you will see personalizations loading on sites where you never intended. That's it. Once configuration is set appropriately for Lift, please see Getting Started with Content Hub configuration or creating a personalization in Acquia Lift. Thank you for watching.